Please don't take this personal, but you ain't shit, and you weren't special till I made you so. You better act like you know that I've been through worse to you. I'm gonna document all of this for Kaiser. Whenever you get older, you gotta have these videos to look back at and show you. Cause your mama is going through it. But you make 1 week tomorrow. You came at 24 weeks. So early. I don't know why you wanted to come so early. You've been fighting real good. And everything's been going good. You have your surgery tomorrow. And you have to get a blood transfusion tonight. And I know it's gonna be okay. I worry about you a lot. When I'm back there, I'm looking at you through the camera. But I know your surgery and everything is gonna go good. I know everything's gonna go good. Cause you're a fighter, just like me. I gotta remember to take care of myself because I just had you a week ago. Hey, Kaiser. So today is Sunday, the 5th, February 5th. Yesterday you just had a rough day. I'm trying to look at you on the thing, but I'm gonna have to call the hospital because they have the camera moved. But I probably won't even call because it's already 1 o'clock and I need to get up and get ready to go see you. So 10 times out of 10 after I pump, I'm just gonna go up there like I normally do. But yesterday you had a rough day. You're up on your feet into 8 milliliters. And I'm just like, boy, my freezer is full. Like, half of my freezer right now is full of breast milk. And I'm just thinking that me doing this for like a couple more months for you, like, where am I going to store that? Where am I going to put all that milk? Good morning, y'all. So I keep saying y'all because I started off with y'all. Okay, I told y'all that, you know, like, maybe I think for his first birthday, I'm gonna put all these little clips in and like post them on YouTube. So I'm saying y'all, referring to y'all on YouTube, but I'm also talking to my baby boy. You know, even though when he won, he ain't gonna be able to really watch it and see, but like later on in life, he'll be able to watch this. But anyways, today is Saturday, the 11th. It's actually my mom's birthday today. I had some. Okay, this is not even. It's my mom's birthday today. Just said it. But my Kaiser boy is 2 pounds. He hit 2 pounds yesterday, so he is growing. We still been having a little ups and downs and stuff while he's in there, but you know, You're doing good, you're growing, and I'm happy that you hit your 2 pounds mark. Soon I'll be able to hold you. That's all I'm ready for. Like, is to be able to do skin to skin finally. So hopefully that is soon. Because you're 2 pounds, so I should be able to hold you now. But I'm gonna ask them. But you've just been going through like your little episodes and stuff because of your anemia. So I'm not worried about anything. I know everything is gonna help you out, like your blood transfusions and stuff. I know it's all gonna help you. So I'm not worried about nothing. You're getting a little chunky. But yeah, you're growing, you're fighting, and you're still, you know, getting stronger and healthier. So I'm just grateful. You know, I'm just grateful that you're fighting and that, you know, you're getting stronger every day. Yeah, I am praying that, well, let me stop saying I'm praying. I will be moved into our new place on Wednesday, so I'm super excited about that, to have bigger space for us whenever you get home. And yeah, you know, I'm just so ready for you to come home already, literally. Today has been a long day. Whew, never in a million years ever thought I would be experiencing a pain like this. Hey y'all, it's been a minute, okay? I am back, okay? It's been a minute since I posted on YouTube. Initially, I said that I was gonna do like a updated Q&A or whatever for my YouTube channel. And when I put the little anonymous thing on there, like for y'all to give me some questions or whatever that y'all wanted to know, everything was in regards to me being pregnant, who is my baby father, when was I pregnant, how am I doing mentally, losing my child. So it was like everything was in regards to that. So I'm just like, I might as well make a video like explaining not everything but majority of it, you know, just because I feel like it's still very fresh. So I'm gonna try not to get too emotional during this. But you know, I just feel like a lot of people ask, and you know, I don't mind giving y'all the scoop because if you know me, you know I'm a very, very, very private person. Hence why y'all didn't know I was pregnant. So there's that. Yeah, and if you're new here, welcome. This is not typically something I do on my channel, but you know, I just felt like I wanted to go ahead and get this out there now and then start back posting. Fingers crossed. But just start back posting content and, you know, kind of like getting back to me and doing stuff that, you know, I enjoy doing. Okay, so getting into it. First, I don't even know how, like, if I'm gonna insert the clips like that I made during my journey once I gave birth and like I was back and forth in the NICU, and like giving updates on him. I'm probably gonna insert that just because I do feel like, you know, it was nice of me documenting that process or whatever. And so I might insert that in the beginning of this and then y'all gonna, so it just depends on how I do that. Hopefully y'all seen that and now y'all here. But yeah, just to start it off, so I found out I was pregnant. Let me go to the exact date. August 29th. And it was so crazy how I found out I was pregnant. Like that, the day before, I was with somebody and we were out and whatever like that. Something happened with my drink, and so like I completely passed out, bust my chin. So I had to go to the emergency room to get stitches. I still have the score right there a little bit, but I had to go get stitches. So when I went to go get my stitches, everything was like, it was okay. Like, they stitched me up. They took the little laboratory blood test, all that. Everything was okay. Sent me back home after I had got my stitches. So the same night, was that the same night, the doctor left a voicemail, because I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb. So the doctor left a voicemail, and he was just asking for me to give him a call back. So initially when I seen it was kind of late, and so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just call in the morning. So when I called in the morning, he wasn't there because the shift had changed. So they told me to call back when he come back into his shift. So I called back, and he basically was like, we missed something. The test came back and you're pregnant. So immediately, mind you, y'all, I am with someone. So immediately I'm just like not trying to let people into my business. And I'm just like, okay, like I just tried to play it off like, I'm like, okay, thank you. And I just like completely hung up the phone. So immediately my friend Gigi, she was the one who was already waiting on me to call her, like to let her know what the doctor had said, because I had told her like they had called me. So I'm thinking it's something in regards to me busting my chin, like if they found something, all that. So I immediately called her, and I'm just like, Gianni, I am pregnant. And like we sat there and we talked, and then I was like, hold on, wait, like I have to call the person. At the time of everything, I was just like, no, this is not, I'm not having a child. This is not the way I was supposed to have a child. No. And it's so crazy I'm telling this story smiling, because at the time, no laugh or giggles. But I'm just like, immediately, no, I am getting, like, I kid you not, my first thing I said, I'm not keeping it. So like y'all, like I'm literally, me and Gianni, we're sitting there like just looking up clinics, because it was banned. Well, it's banned in Texas and it's banned in Louisiana. So we're trying to find places where I can go to. So ended up talking, like we were just like, okay, we're gonna keep looking into this, okay? So a week passed, or some weeks passed, and it's like a cutoff frame for whenever you can go get it, or like it'll just start going back up because you're waiting further along in your pregnancy. So I remember just like, I just was still in shock. I'm like, why would I be pregnant? How, like, what is going on? Like, I was just so confused. And I remember just constantly praying. Like, I had FaceTime my sisters. Everybody thought I was playing, and I was so serious. But that's because, like, I always be playing. I play too much, honestly. And so everybody thinking I'm playing and all this and that. I'm like, y'all, I am dead serious. And the only thing that I didn't have was like a pregnancy test, because I never took it. The doctor told me, so I didn't have to take no pregnancy test. So everybody thinking I'm playing and all this and that. I'm like, y'all, I am not playing. I am dead serious. So I remember the week coming for the appointment. And so y'all, I had literally everything booked. Like, I'm like, okay, this is what it is. I'm going. We just gonna let this ride out. It's gonna be what it is. But y'all, I just kept praying. Like, excuse me. Like, I was just like, at first I was like, that week, it was just like, it was a whole different shift. Because initially, before, I'm like, I'm not thinking about nothing. This is what it is. This is what's about to happen. Like, that's it. But it was like that week of the appointment, it was like I just kept praying. I'm like, I just had so many doubts, so many like, Z, should you do this? Is this the right thing? Like, you're 23. Like, you can have a child. Like, I just started thinking of everything. I'm like, is this the right thing for me to do? Like, maybe this child is supposed to come to me right now. And so I just kept praying and praying and praying. And I kid you not, the morning of I canceled everything. Like, I'm like, I can't do it. And so it was just so, like, it was really emotional for me to even, because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. This is what it is. I don't know how I just shifted my thoughts and everything, but I'm doing it. Like, this is what it is. Even though I don't feel prepared, I'm gonna get prepared, and we're gonna do this together. This is just what it is. Like, and I just felt like maybe I needed him at that time, you know, like, cause God will sit you down quick, and I just felt like it came to me when, like, but my baby boy, he came to me when he was supposed to. Like, the timing of everything was exactly how it was supposed to be. So that's how I just always say, like, God. Like, it was nobody but God. And then especially, like, I had just moved to Houston in the beginning of the year. Well, like April-ish. And so it was just like, I was just doing stuff, like, out of the norm for me, like, just going out a lot, like, just not really feeling like myself. And I was just kept saying, I'm like, I came out here to do a certain thing and, like, try to elevate myself and find out exactly what I wanted to do career-wise and just, like, with everything. And it was like I wasn't doing that. And I felt like that was God's way of telling me, like, hey, this is not what, sit down, slow down, and slow down. You getting all off track. And so, you know, I felt like he came at the perfect time for me. So, you know, of course, I was just like, this is going to be something private just because of the way my baby came to me. And I'm not going to speak on that. But, you know, I was just like, the way it happened, I know it wasn't like God's way of doing it. Like, you know, like, I don't know how to put this without, like, I just know, you know, the way it happened, it wasn't like saying, oh, this is the way, like, it wasn't God saying this was the way it was supposed to happen, but, you know, that's just how it is. And so that whole, like, the whole time, because I found out in August, I ended up moving in November, and I was just like, I needed to be closer back home. Like, I'm not gonna be pregnant in Houston. Like, that is just a big ass no. And it was just like, okay, like, it's time to switch into mommy mode. I'm like, I'm not raising a child here. This is not the place for me to raise a child here by myself. Like, I'm not. So initially I moved. And when I moved, it was like so much relief, because in the time of me finding out I was pregnant and before moving, I was just in this funk, like, and I don't want to get emotional already, and I haven't even started talking about my child, but that time period, because it was so crazy, like, I had just ended my 5-year relationship, and, like, I was just trying to navigate, like, doing stuff on my own, like, without having attachments to anybody, and just figuring out myself outside of a relationship, because that's all I knew, you know, since I was 18. So, like, I was dealing with that, and then, like, trying to find myself, and then, like, okay, I'm pregnant, and it was just, like, so, oh my goodness, that was just the worst time. Like, it was such a rough time. And I'm just, like, I'm grateful that I was able to come out of that the way that I did, because that literally could have broke me to, like, just be like, this is no. And, you know, it was nobody but God. And I keep saying that because, like, that was a time for me to get closer to God. Like, I remember just, like, being in the bed, like, all day, 24/7. Like, I wasn't talking to my family, my friends, nobody, like, had connections with me during this certain period of time. I'm like, I don't even know what it was. I was just like, it was just me, my baby, and God, literally. Us three in connection. And I just remember, like, I remember one day, and I was just like feeling a certain type of way. And so I had reached out to somebody, and basically just like, like trying to, well, really initially, I guess I was just trying to hear like everything was going to be okay. But it was just like, I don't know. It was like God was showing me like, no, this is not, this is not who you supposed to be calling, like, And it was like, because I kept praying, I'm like, God, remove people out of my life who no longer serve me a purpose anymore, who is not good for me in this season of changing and growing and all this and that. And it was just so crazy how things started to just unfold, and like people just started to show their true colors. And so I just remember after that call, because I didn't hear what I wanted to hear, and so like mid conversation I just hung up, and I remember dropping down. And I don't want to get emotional, but I remember dropping down and like on my knees, just like, God, I need you. Whew. I remember just like feeling like this, like I have to get over this little phase that I'm in right now. Like this is not me. I'm not used to this. Like, and so I feel like that was initially the first day I was just like, okay, Z, you gotta snap out of this. Like, it was like, I wish I was documenting that process that I was going through, because it was the worst. Like, I never ever felt like that ever in life. Like, it was bad. And then initially when I moved, like I was just so much at peace with a lot of stuff, because like I'm closer to my family. My best friend lived in the same city as me, and so it was like a change that I needed bad. I had my best friend here, my little brother here. Like, it was like I'm just tied with a lot of people here rather than when I was living in Houston. And so yeah, when I made that move, I was good and zangy. So starting January, the new year, everything was okay. My due date was May 11th. So I ended up, y'all, so what's crazy, what led to me even giving birth was, the week before, I just had like a lot of mucus come out. And so pregnant, if you've been pregnant before, you know what that is. And so immediately I'm like Googling, like, what is this? Because, it was just not normal. And so I just keep seeing stuff talking about a mucus blood. So the day that happened, the next day was my my visit with my doctor, my little checkups. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just mention it to him tomorrow. So I get there, I tell him like what it is, and he really didn't check for real. Like, he didn't look at my cervix or anything. He was just like, okay, well, if you don't see any blood, then everything should be okay. So I'm like, okay. Even though I had it set, I'm like, I think I lost my mucus blood, but he was like, okay. I'm like, okay, well, let me go with what the doctor telling me. So I just like, all right, okay, I'm just brush it off. So literally a week, because I remember reading, it was saying like, whenever you lose your mucus plug, the week, normally that is a sign of you about to give birth soon, and it can happen within a week. So literally the next week, I started, like, it was like 1 a.m, and I just was cramping so bad. And I was like, and I'm thinking, because initially I had to go to the hospital before, because I was getting these bad chest pains and like crumbling over, but it turned out, I think it was gas or something like that. But it was gas within, like, when you're pregnant, the worst pain ever. So I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's happening to me again. Like, I don't know what it is, but maybe that's what's happening again. So I'm just letting the time go by, y'all. And this was happening. It started at like I'll say like 1, 2-ish. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just let it go. If it keep going by 10, I said, then I'm gonna go to the emergency room. So I ended up calling my mommy, and my mom, I think I called my mom, but I know for sure I called my sister and my mommy, my grandma. And so they was like, my mommy was like, I don't know, that kind of sound like you might be having contractions, so you need to go, because I was timing it, and it was like happening back to back. And so I'm like, am I having contractions? But I'm like, no, it's too early. Like, I'm not supposed to be having contractions right now. So after that, I'm just like, okay, well, let me get dressed and go to the emergency room. So I get dressed and go to the emergency room. They asking like, what do I think? I mean, like what was going on and stuff like that. And I'm like, I think I might be in labor. I think I'm having contractions. And so mind you, y'all, like I was carrying very small, so you could rarely tell that I was pregnant, honestly. And then I was still so early. So I get there, and when I get to the back and they check, they like, I think they told me I was like 6 centimeters dilated or something like that. It was like farther ahead. And he was like, you're about to have your baby. And so immediately I'm like, huh? Like, I'm like, what? All of my family is in Alexandria. They're gonna have to come, drive down an hour and a half to get to me. I'm like, I immediately called my best friend, and I'm like, I'm about to have him, and like, it was just so unexpectedly. And then what's crazy, like even prior to knowing this, what was so crazy, I used to always refer to him as a boy. Like before I even knew the gender, I was like, if this baby, no, I would say, I know this baby came directly. I know this is what God placed. He is from God himself. Like this child is from the way everything happened. I'm like, this is God. And so I said, I know that if this was a sign from God, this is my boy. I kept saying, and I kid you not, y'all, I kept saying, it was never a time where I was just like, well, I don't really know. I knew from the jump. I'm like, this is my boy. Like, I'm having my boy. Like, I always referred to him as him, my boy, always. And so when I initially found out that he was a boy, I'm like, I already knew. I already knew that. And that's why I continuously say, even to this day, that was always my angel. But yeah, so fast forward back to me, going into labor and everything. So I had him at 24 weeks and 5 days. So of course, initially he had to go to the NICU. Now, the journey in the NICU was definitely a journey. As y'all can see, I don't know if I put them in before or after, whichever one. I know I'm gonna put them in there. But the journey, like, it was very emotional for me, because instantly, like, I'm in mommy mode. Like, I'm just wanting to be there with him 24/7, but I can't because I'm still working and still trying to get everything together for him whenever he comes out of the NICU. And so it was just like, I was just going through my emotions, but I had my laptop up all the time. Whenever I wasn't with him, I had my laptop up and checking the little NIC view. They had like a camera to where we can watch him whenever we're not there physically with him. So yeah, it was just like, it was very, like, it was a journey. It was very emotional and stuff. He had to go through so many he had 2 surgeries. The first one was because his vein was so small and they couldn't put the IV in him so that, they could start getting everything to him. And then the second one was because he had his heart valve that was open, and it was like affecting his breathing a little bit. So they wanted to go ahead and close it, because typically it closed on its own, but being that it was kind of affecting him a little bit, they wanted to go ahead and close it themselves. Both surgeries went great. But I remember him having I don't want to get emotional, but I remember him having his last surgery on a Thursday. It was February, I think it was the 26th. Was it the 20 or the? I'm trying to think. Was it the 26th? Okay, so it was the 26th. My stinky man. I was taking so many pictures of him when he got out of surgery because I was just so happy he was doing good and he was up. He was looking around. And so I was just taking so many pictures and videos. But he had his surgery on the 26th. That was a Thursday. That Monday was whenever because I remember I was at work. And I remember getting a call earlier than normal from the NICU because they always called me like closer to the time of me going to see him because I worked during the day. And so they would call me with the updates. You know, they give me updates daily on his progress and how he was doing and everything. So they called me earlier than normal on Monday. So, you know, I'm just thinking like nothing too much because after his surgery that Thursday, like he was only using one of his ventilators. Like he was doing so good. I kid you not. Like he started back eating good and, you know, everything was just good. And so Monday they called and they're like, we had to put him back on on the ventilator because, you know, he started to need it a little bit more, you know, and then they'll just, you know, let me know by the time whenever I come back. And so then they called again and they were saying like, they had to do something else. They were doing something else. They went up some more on his oxygen and on the ventilator. And so now I'm concerned. I'm worried. Like, I'm like, okay, I need to go. Like, but I'm like not thinking because they're still not telling me like it's bad, but they're calling with the updates and telling me how it is. And so whenever it was time for me to get off, I immediately went to the hospital. And so when I got there, every time, I would go to see him, mind you, y'all, I never missed one day at that hospital. I was there every single day from when I gave birth up until the day that he passed. I was there every single day. And I remember, I remember going there and him just looking so like lifeless. And anytime I came, like he always acknowledged that I was there. So like he would move around and you know, like kind of put his little hands out and just be squirming because he was active. He was very active. But he was just laying there, like his body was just laying there. And I had asked her, because I'm like, well, okay, he's not feeling good. Like, it's nothing much to it. But I remember like some minutes going by and I'm sitting there and I'm steady saying, I was constantly saying like, Kaza, you know, I always talked to him when I came there just so he could know my voice and, you know, he could hear me and stuff. And so I kept saying like, Kaza, you know, I'm steady saying his name and he just wasn't budging. And that was the first time, you know, he's never not did any type of movement whenever I say his name or I'm there, because the nurses will always say, anytime you come, like he knows when his mama is there, because he would get up, like he would get active and he's like doing good and everything whenever he know his mama is there. So, you know, I was just so confused. I'm like, why is he like not moving as much? And the nurses was just saying like, well, he's just really sick. You know, he's just sick right now. He's just resting and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, was still just like, I don't know. But I'm not thinking of the worst, but I'm just like, I'm not used to seeing him like this. So the time goes on and I'm still at the hospital because he's still going like back and forth with his oxygen, and they were just sitting there trying to figure out, you know, what's really going on and why, you know, all this is happening. So, you know, I'm there the whole night and everything, and I had finally, like, it was like late in the middle of the night, and I had to be to work for 8, and and I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go home, like try to get some sleep a little bit, and then I'm gonna give them a call to see how things are going and if I need to come back in, or you know, if I'm gonna stay. But initially I knew I was gonna just come and miss work, but I had just wanted to make sure before I, you know, let them know that I wasn't gonna be, you know, going into work. And so they had the doctor, and I had left my phone open, and the doctor had called. He called at like, it was like right before I would have had to clock in, because I remember it being like 4 or 5 in the morning, and he was just saying like they had to go in and give him a chest tube because, you know, his gas, I forgot what it was, but something in regards to his gas level or something like that. I can't remember the terms no more. But it wasn't where they would have liked it to be. So, you know, they had to go in with a chest tube and all this and that. And so now I'm thinking, I'm like, this is a lot that they're doing now. And so I just remember, you know, letting my job know like, hey, I'm not coming in, like, you know, my child is sick and I need to be at the hospital. And so initially, like, I'm calling my mommy and everything, but like, you know, I was just giving them updates on the things that they were doing. So when I went to the hospital, like, it was like they had, so like, it was like everybody was around him, surrounding him, like, I guess trying to figure out what was going on and stuff. So they had, because it was, the hospital itself was like, you know, a very Christian hospital. So they prayed, you know, whenever you needed, like anytime, whenever he had his surgeries, they would come and, you know, pray and all this and that. And so whenever I got there, they, you know, they were huddling around his little bed and everything. And it was just like, I don't know, I just had a weird, I'm like, why, you know, like, because they're not telling me it's like bad, even though I can see like he's not doing as well as he normally is, but they're not seeing like it's a life or death type of situation going on right now. But I figured it because like, it was like certain times kept coming and like, they were like, well, we're gonna try this, we're gonna try this. And it wasn't like they were for sure, like, this is gonna work. And I just remember the lady coming in, because this was still early in the morning. The lady had came in and she prayed. And so, you know, I'm like, that's fine, because he is, you know, he's a little sick right now. So I'm okay with her praying. Like, you know, I'm not thinking the worst, it's okay. So at this point, my mommy and my sister is coming down, you know, just to see what's going on and stuff like that. So, you know, like, I'm kind of communicating with them, but then the doctor came in and, you know, they were just sitting there with me and they were just watching him because they're trying to figure out what's going on, because his oxygen level just kept dropping. And so when my mommy and my sister came, we had, you know, let them do, because I forgot what it was, like they were doing or something. And I'm trying to remember if it was like, because the way that they do it, they both couldn't be there at the same time, so it would have to be one at a time for them to come in with me. And I know it was like, my sister had came, and then my mommy had came. And so we were sitting outside in like the waiting area, because they had to do something else. They were doing something else, but they was like, they didn't want me to be there because, um, sometimes the moms don't like seeing that. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I went out to the waiting room, and it wasn't even like that long of a wait. And well, before that, we were waiting out there while they did that. The doctor personally, he came out in the waiting room and he talked to me and my sister and my mommy. And he was just giving us the rundown of like what's going on, what they're gonna try. And he was like, we're gonna try, everything. But what kind of put me to question if he was gonna make it was that this doctor came and he said, we're gonna pray, because now, because he said now it's to a point where God can only handle it from here. And so immediately I broke down, and I'm just like, I don't understand, because he was doing so good, and then now it's like it just happened out of nowhere, literally. And so he prayed, and like he was just like, we can give you some time or whatever and stuff like that. And I was just like, I just want to go to the back with him. So we gave it some time, we waited, and I was scrubbing in to go to the back, and they had, because the doctor had already left and stuff like that, and I was trying to get myself together, and it wasn't even that long before he had just walked out, and they were like, Miss Reed, we need you to the back now. And so, like I was like trying to scrub in. He was just like, it's okay, just put the gloves on and stuff. And they had let my mommy back too. They was like, not for us to scrub in. So that's when I knew, like, okay, something is happening right now. So we go back there to the back, and I see now it's his heart and his oxygen rate. So now his heart rate is going low. And so I'm just sitting there, like I'm like shaking and just trying to see exactly what's going on. So while I was there, his heart rate had got low to 0, like it was nothing. And so they're sitting there resuscitating him. And if you're looking at this little baby being resuscitated, you see like his body just going up. And so it was like, at this point in my head, I'm just like, my baby is a fighter. Like, he had been fighting so long since I had given birth. But I'm just like, I don't want to call it quits on him. And so I resuscitated him, and he ended up, his heart rate went back up. But whenever they did it the first time, they didn't close the incubator. They had left it open, and they never do that. And so they told me, it was like, if you want to hold his hand, you can hold his hand and everything. And so I'm just like, I'm not giving up, like, no. And so, I'm sitting there, I'm holding his hand, and I'm talking to him. And just in my head, I'm just praying. I'm like, I'm not giving up. This is not, I'm not doing it. And so I'm looking at his monitor, and it's still like, he was doing good, but then it started to gradually decline. And so I was just like, it's okay. Everything, like, I still had it in my mind that it was gonna be okay. Like, I'm not thinking the worst, and I serve an amazing God. And so I remember I had to move away from the bed. And so my mommy she was right there next to me. And one of the nurses had came
And then the doctor had came. And while they were sitting there, watching over him and watching the monitors, they was like, they said, whenever you're ready, they said, whenever you're ready, let us know. Whenever you feel like it is time, let us know. And so immediately I broke down because I'm like, how did this happen? And how did we get to this point? And so, and so I remember, I'm looking at my mommy and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to give up. And she said, you don't have to. And so while, we were sitting there trying to, discuss everything or see what we were doing, his heart rate had dropped again. And they had to resuscitate him again. And so they were going, and they were going for a long time this time. And I remember I forget if it was the respiratory nurse, but she looked at the time and they were counting how many times they were doing the compressions and trying to put, doing the little pump thing in his mouth. And they were looking at me, and I just was looking at his body, and it was done for. And I remember just saying, I don't want him to keep having a fight to be here, and it's already a struggle for him to be here. And I just remember watching him, and then when I said, when they said, they were like, they can't go anymore. And I just remember his body. Whew. I just remember his body it was like, but I knew he had fought so hard. And they tried literally everything. But I just remember my heart sinking and just me collapsing. It was just no life left in me. And I just didn't know what to do. And I remember when they were done, I just said, I just want to hold him. And so they took off everything on him, and they, unplugged everything on him, and they let me hold him. And that was only my second time holding my baby, was in his body. And he had no more life in him. His lifeless body was the second time I held him. And I just remember feeling this pain. Oh my goodness. It was like, I don't know, I felt like I was shot. And it was like I couldn't breathe. And I don't know, I just remember holding him and just holding and kissing him. And it was just the second time of me holding him, and he had gotten so big, and he was a little heavier than the first time I held him. And it was just the way that I had to sit there through everything and watch everything. And I think that's what torn me the most was that I had to watch it and I couldn't help him, because it was nothing else to do. They had literally tried everything. And I am super grateful for the doctors and the nurses and everybody that was working with him, because they were super, like, they were on it and they loved him. And I just, that day was like a dreadful day. Like, it was just like, it was horrible. It was horrible. And I can just replay everything in my head so vividly, of me watching everything and the day that I came in and what exactly I wore. And after I was done holding him and everything, I was able to wash him for the first time, and bathe him and put him in a little outfit so that we can take pictures of him. And I just remember that day so vividly. And it's so crazy because when I'm working my second job now that I have, I remember it was two different people that I had met there. And one of the guys, he was like, after I had gave him my Instagram or whatever, I had given him my Instagram, and he DM'd me, and he said, I commend you on your strength. Me seeing you the other night, I would have never thought you were going through what you were going through. And then I remember someone else saying, like, I don't think I ever seen you have a bad day since I've been here. Like, you're always smiling. And, it's like everything is always okay. You're always smiling. And it's like, I don't know. I don't ever know how to take that, because I don't want it to feel as if I'm okay, because I'm not. I don't want people to think like going through something like that, like you don't go through nothing, like you can handle it. And that's not the truth at all. This is something that is still affecting me. I don't think I'm nowhere near being fully okay. But I just feel like my faith and my strength, my faith in God and my strength that I overly just have and I've always had, I feel like that's the only reason why I am, able to smile and go about my day throughout the day and, act as if everything is okay. But when I'm coming home, when I'm by myself, and a lot of people don't see you outside of that. So it's like, when I come home, I face it. When I'm in the shower, when I'm soaking in the tub, when I'm just sitting there at work. I've cried literally while I'm working. A lot of y'all know that I work from home. And I remember being on a call and I was just thinking about it. And because grief it's a very weird thing, because one minute it's like, okay, I'm okay. And next minute out of nowhere, you're just like a complete mess. And so I remember just, crying, and immediately I got a call, and I'm just, hey, like nothing ever happened. And so I don't think that's good for me, but it's the way that I've been going through with it. It's the way that I've been trying to deal with it. I don't know, and it's like a lot of people is asking in the thing, like, how am I mentally? I don't even know what to give y'all. I don't know what to say. I think I'm making it. I think, I think for the most part, managing. But I continue to pray. I have my faith in God, and I never question His doing. Even with, I was like, just how my baby came to me, and then just going through everything in between while I was pregnant, and then now this, and I just was wasn't understanding. And that's why when everything happened, I just was praying to God for strength and understanding, because that's all I was needing. Because I knew everything happens for a reason, and God has, you know, a certain message for everything. And, there's a reason why things happen the way that it does. And so I will never question God and how He does things, but it was hard, and I just still need understanding. But my faith in God it's real, and that's who's been keeping me going through all of this. And, that's why, I feel like eventually I will come to this point of where I can speak on my child and not be an emotional thing for me. It's more of like a happy feeling of me just, thinking about him and having my special angel, because that's exactly what he was. And I named him Kaiser because that means a gift from God, and that's exactly what he was. But yeah, I'm doing okay. I am managing. I am. I'm okay. It's still very hard. It's still a lot to deal with. It's not easy at all. But I do have people in my life that are helping me. And a few of them might not even know that they're helping me, but they are. They help me take my mind off a lot. So, I appreciate the ones that I have in my life right now, and my family. But other than that, I'm happy. Like, other than that, outside of still dealing with the death of my child, great things have been happening for me. Just like me collaborating with Fashion Nova now, and it's so crazy because in the beginning, when my first video of this year, I remember saying, I feel like there's so much coming to me this year, and it's going to be so good. And this was just the start. There already have been things leading up, everything is on God's time, and, I will never, ever question anything that, I'm never going to be impatient. I'm always going to trust God and be patient, because His time is the right time. And I'm just going to let it come to me. I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to go out and try to get it before it comes to me. I just want it to come the way that it's supposed to come to me. And I'm just grateful in life right now. Outside of that, I'm doing well. I'm happy with the way life has been so far. And I'm just ready to, start back getting to me. I am going to start posting more. I promise. I know I say that all the time, but I promise I am. I just want to start back, doing things that I love. Especially with YouTube, just recording a lot more fashion content. I know a lot of people know me from basketball, and I just really want y'all to let me branch off to something else. And I said that I was still gonna record workout videos and stuff, because basketball is still something I love, and I still love working out and going to the gym and everything like that. So that is something I'm gonna keep incorporating in my videos and stuff. But I am older now. I'm switching off in a different lane of where I want to be and how I want to grow, and where I want to be successful at in life. And I'm just headed towards that direction. And so I just want y'all to come on this journey with me. We gonna keep basketball, but that's not right where I'm at right now. Okay. But yes, I'm gonna also insert clips of my baby boy um, and videos that I have of him. um, but yes, that is my whole complete story for the most part. And that's everything that transpired, how it happened, how I'm doing now, and yeah, that's everything y'all wanted to know. But yeah, that is it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I've never done a video like this where I got so emotional. I don't think I ever even seen that side of me before. But you know, it was good letting that out. It was good talking about it. And yeah, that is it for this video. We have more stuff to come. I hope the quality isn't as bad because when I moved early in the year, I don't know if I lost it. I just don't know where I packed my camera. So I am currently looking for that. But I'm on my other phone right now recording. Um, my bad, y'all. Okay, but anyways, that is it for this video. Um, I'm happy I got to share that with y'all because a lot of people have been questioning and asking. I see when y'all ask. And yeah, finally decided to share that with y'all. And it's going to be a great rest of the year. I'm excited to show y'all, all new things regarding to me. Y'all can continue to check on me like y'all been doing. But I appreciate everybody, that supports me, everybody that checks on me, and everybody that genuinely care to know how I'm doing. So I appreciate that a lot. I love y'all. But that is it for this video. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. But for the meantime, between time, stay blessed and don't get stressed.